Yeah, so let's do a reply at this guy right here since he's done a shout out at myself and Steve Oka. Okay, he's decided to do a response video. I think it's hilarious the stuff he's saying. But we're going to go ahead and play it and let you listen to it in case you don't know who he is. I'm not trying to give him any fame here. Okay? And normally I would just blow this shit off, but I thought this was so funny. I really do. And because of what he's falling for, he's going to tell you why he's falling for it too. He sure is. He's going to tell himself in this very video why he's falling down the rabbit hole. So listen up.
Good morning. This is Hewlett Traviata, founder of the Factor X theory. My video this morning is a direct shout out to both predominantly Bill Greathouse and his sidekick Steve Hoka. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy-Doo, I call them. The Scooby-Doo and Shaggy-Doo of the TFL world. You know? Milo and Otis. Abbott and Costello. Bill Greathouse has made a few comments on my videos.
I still will. You're still a sleepwalker.
That have been unfriendly, which is
Not really. I don't think calling you sleepwalkers is unfriendly. It's just truth. It's not my fault that's this way, but it is truth.
no surprise from Mr. Greathouse. Bill Greathouse takes offence to anyone who dares challenge his borderline psychotic theories.
Borderline psychotic theories. Listen to this as he tells on himself.
Of TFL, which is, of course, based on conspiracy, the Illuminati.
There you go. You don't need to hear anymore. Of course, it's based on conspiracy, you know. It's just a conspiracy theory. Yep, he's a tinfoil rain hat nut job. Yep, and so was, George Herbert Walker Bush, George Bush Jr., that's right. So was Joe Biden. So was Barack Obama. That's right. So was Bill Clinton. So was Hillary Clinton. Yep. So was Mr. Kissinger. That's right. So was all these public figures, and I could go on with a whole list of names of people who have openly told you in your face, leaders of a country. People who are presidents, puppets, I might not say puppets, okay? Who literally put it in your face and told you it. Who have denied stuff that it's all been put in your face. So, you know, this guy's going to tell you that the Bilderbergs don't exist, that the trilateral foreign affairs, you know, the Trilateral Commission, and get the wording right, okay? You know, he's going to tell you that all of these entities are fraudulent, they don't exist. Okay, that the Masons have nothing to do with this, the Fabians have nothing to do with this, that this has not been socially engineered at all. He's going to tell you everything I said is nuts. We know that media don't do male shaming and never done male shaming in all of history, okay? I mean, this is really what he's telling you, okay? What he's wanting to sell you on is the same stuff that's been sold on men for decades now that has done no good at all. But somehow he thinks he can repeat that same stuff and avoid the truth and fix the problem. Because he don't need to know about truth to fix the problem, because he knows that this is all just conspiracy, nut job, psychopathic stuff to talk about, that there's no wars going on in the world. And, you know, he knows all this stuff because, you know, he's so intelligent, right? That we have no wars going on, and that NWO is nothing but conspiracy theory, and nobody would ever interfere with the dating scene, and that today's society, this is just normal behavior. Yeah, it's just normal behavior, guys. And you can go right back down the rabbit hole, and you can blame yourself because, you know, man, it's all your fault. That's right. Women have nothing to do with it. It's all men's fault. All she got to do is listen to this guy.
And alien invasions.
And alien invasions. Oh, yes, see that? That's right. And there's alien invasions. When have I ever talked about alien invasions? Never. Not even once in all the years I've been online. So you see how he's just pulling garbage out of his anal and sticking it in his mouth? You see that turd that fell out of his mouth right there? No, you didn't, because he's not showing you his mouth. He don't want you to see that he's got turds flowing out of his mouth.
And Mr. Greathouse considers himself the godfather of TFL. But I know a lot about Bill Greathouse and Steve Hoker than anyone.
Yeah, he knows more than anybody about us. Matter of fact, he knows more about me and Steve Hoker than we know about ourselves.
I was there with these guys in the 90s.
He was there with us in the 90s. Really? In the 90s even. Before we met. Before we were online. He was there with us before we were ever online. That's pretty darn awesome. I bet you Steve would love to know that you were there with him before he was online. Before he even knew me. He was there with me before I ever gave the name TFL. He was there before we ever came online. He was right there with us.
Listening.
Listening? He must have been listening. He must have been in our house listening to us talk. Yep.
Now, Mr. Greathouse did one thing. Okay? He coined the term TFL. True Force Loneliness. And according to Steve Hoker, Steve was also instrumental in helping him patent that name TFL. Okay? Now, I have always said that I acknowledge Mr. Greathouse and I acknowledge Steve Hoker for bringing to the attention to the world and to the community the problem of the dating scene. I commend them for that. They are the founding fathers in terms of that. Okay? They got us talking about it. But as I say today, 15 years later, right, what solution has Mr. Greathouse or Steve Hoker offered?
Well, I've offered all kinds of advice. I sure have. Now, of course, it's not my fault he don't listen. Daddy solely has to take onto his own self. Okay? It's not my fault he don't listen. It's not my fault he don't look into anything. Nope, I can't be to blame for that. I cannot be to blame for your failure to look into stuff for yourself. I cannot be to blame for that because that's not my problem. That's your problem. You're the one that was too lazy to do so. Okay? Solutions? I've told people you got to know who your real enemy is. You got to know the root cause and who's behind this, where it come from, and you got to tackle the root cause. I have said this over and over and over for years. Okay? So when he sits there and tells you we gave you no solutions, it's because it don't fit his mirage, his fantasy that he's having in his head. Because this guy's failed to look into anything, he's failed to look into anything, he wants to believe the hocus pocus of Dr. Brian Gilmartin. He wants to believe this well-read book that this guy put together that steers you right back down to blaming yourself. He wants to believe the propaganda and not the truth. I'm the nut because I tell truth. He knows that the lie is better than truth. So, So in the end, what this guy's pushing, he's going to find out as he's beating his head in the wall about 10 years from now, done him absolutely no good. He is only regurgitating and repeating what's already been done. He's not smart enough to figure out that he's repeating what millions of guys before him already done. They went and done everything that Dr. Gil Martin's telling you and found out that it was propaganda. After years of failure, because that was never the problem. Of course it's not. It's a symptom. So he's going to chase symptoms and not be able to figure out why he can't correct the problem. But meanwhile, he wants to sell you back on the symptoms. Because he's done no homework of his own or research of his own, he's unable to see what's really going on.
I mean, Steve has been on the fence with this for years. He's gone from looksism to oofy doofy to trying to make money. Now, I honestly believe that Steve and Bill did live TFL. But I think rather than try to find solutions...
No, I found the root cause. You have to find the root cause to a problem and fix the problem, not symptoms. But then once again, you're not smart enough to figure that out, are you?
They got off on the fact that they became famous.
Never. Not even once. Do you see how he assumes again? He reached all the way up to Zano, and he shoved the turd in his mouth again, and he spit the turd back out his mouth again. That's all he did. Okay, he don't even know what he's talking about. He's just running his mouth. Because we're not saying what he wants us to say. We're not sugarcoating, especially me. I'm not sugarcoating what he wants me to say. That's right. He wants me to steer you back down the rabbit hole. Because that'll make his feelers feel better, right? I don't care if I upset you and bothered you with truth. It's not my fault you're not smart enough to look into it. You're the only one I fought for that.
And it became about appeasing egos.
Never has been. I'm not ego run. See, once again, he's making assumptions. He thinks he can pull an assumption out of Zano and it's correct. And the only thing he's doing is, why do you think you only see one foot here? Because his other foot right now is in his mouth.
Right? Because
there you go.
anyone who comes on the scene new,
now he's got the dirt in his mouth.
They attack. Whether that's me, Alex Dashboard, Monday FA, who I don't like anyway. Right? See, Steve Hoker crawled up Monday FA's ass for a short period of time because he wanted him on his show. Okay? And when Monday FA declined, Steve Hoker started attacking him. See, Steve Hoker and Bill Greathouse are propaganda merchants.
That's funny shit there. Truth is propaganda to him. And lies and propaganda is truth to him. You see how backwards he is? He wouldn't recognize real truth if it slapped him in the face. No lie. He's already proven that. This man would not recognize real truth if it slapped him in the face. You have non-stop evidence and leaders and people in high positions telling you openly in your face, and you still calls that conspiracy theorist. Yep. I think that would make all them leaders conspiracy theorists too, wouldn't it? It would also make them tinfoil wearing hat nut jobs too. Yeah. No, when I said he's a sleepwalker, I wasn't joking. The only thing he's doing here is proving how unaware of what's going on in this world he really is.
They've actually offered nothing of value.
I know truth isn't valuable to him. We've offered nothing but truth. But truth hurts him. That's not value to him. You must tell him what he wants to hear, even if it ain't true. That's the only thing that values to him. As long as he wants to hear it, then it's valuable to him. And then when he has a gun in his head and he's got a chip being put in his brain and he's being enslaved, he's going to go, huh? I don't understand what's going on. This can't be happening. It can't be real. No, it wouldn't happen to me. I'm above that, you know.
To men living TFL. Right? I think Steve's had a few dates here, there, and everywhere. But what has Bill Greathouse done? I mean, what did Bill Greathouse do? He went to the Philippines and he bought a wife. Now,
Hold on. I went to the Philippines and bought a wife? Wow. That's news to me. Damn it, that's just brand new news to me. I didn't know that I bought a wife over there. I'll bet you my son don't even know that his mother's Filipino. As a matter of fact, I'll bet his mother don't even know she's from the Philippines because she was born in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Wow. This guy is just spitting so much shit out of his mouth. Okay? He's just making this shit up as he goes.
I don't have a go at that, right? If that's the best he could do, and that's what he facilitated.
What a joke. What a joke. He don't even know what he's talking about. He just made this shit up and is running with it.
In terms of a solution, I don't have any issues with that whatsoever. But tell me, when did Bill Greathouse ever go to a nightclub or pub? When did Bill Greathouse ever actually go out and flirt with women?
Do you see what I'm talking about? See, this is why Steve gets upset. Because, see, this guy here don't know the first thing about me or Steve. He doesn't know the first thing about our life. He's never talked to me one time in his entire life. He don't even know me. Okay, I mean, this guy's never talked to me, not even for a half of a second in his entire life. But he knows more about me than I know about myself, according to him. According to him, I bought a Filipino wife. Right? Okay? You know, and he's telling me since when has Bill Greathouse ever went to, you know, he knows that I've never been to a club, that I've never approached a woman. He knows that I've never done any of this stuff because he's been in my shoes walking along with me since the 90s. Now, you want to hear lie after lie after lie, just bullshit falling out of somebody's mouth? That's what you're hearing right now. If you want a real good bullshit session, all you got to do is listen to this guy. You might as well be listening to CNN News. You're going to get just as much honesty there as you are right here. Because this guy is a complete clown. Matter of fact, you could call him Bozo.
When did he go out trying to pick up women? When did he ever go out looking at the dating dynamics in the real world? He didn't do any of that.
I didn't? That's awesome. Don't you love for it when people become so jealous and so mad that they just pull assumptions out their butthole, stick it in their mouth and start spitting out the turds and then want you to believe them? You should be able to smell the shit on his breath right now because I'm telling you, this guy right now, his breath smells like pure horse manure.
He didn't do any of that. You know, Bill Greathouse, in some of his responses, appears to be under the influence of alcohol.
I'm a non-drinker. That's right. And I appear to be under the influence of alcohol. I've heard this one before. He's now going down the road of hurling insults and saying I'm doing stuff that I don't. You know, all the people that do know me in my real life knows that I'm a non-drinker. That's right. I don't do drugs. Well, for big pharma drugs that I have no choice on. Okay, and I don't drink alcohol. Never have. Never. Okay, alcohol makes me sick. I don't even like the taste of beer. I mean, this guy, like I told you, he don't know the first thing about me. But you hear the shit that's coming out of his mouth.
right? Chain smokes and sits behind his desk, behind his microphone, you know, offering nothing more than the same rhetoric that he did 15 years ago.
Offering the truth that you don't want to hear because you don't want to be anything that might upset you or be hard or might challenge you and you might have to physically do something yourself. That's right. You don't want to look into anything to see how if somebody's legit or not legit. Nope, that would be too much work for you. You might have to strain a brain cell. You might actually have to give up some of your precious time to strain a brain cell. Okay, and you wouldn't want to do that now, would you?
This is all a conspiracy.
Yep, that's all a conspiracy. There you go. This is what I mean. This guy is so told on himself. He is so asleep. That's why I called him a sleepwalker. Because he's proven to the whole world, if anybody that's ever actually used a brain cell and looked into things and then just sat back and watched what was going on in the world and da-da, it was really happening. Then they went back and looked some more and sat on a fence again and didn't say nothing to nobody and da-da, it was happening in real life. Then they went and looked some more and that kept happening over and over. And then they realized what was going on and they started digging and looking more and they realized what was going on and they realized what was going on. But see, he don't realize what's going on because that'd be too much work for him. I mean, he wouldn't want to strain a brain cell.
But doesn't offer one solution.
I've given you the solution. It's not my fault you don't want to hear it. It means people standing together and recognizing their real enemy. Going after the root cause. I sure hope that you get something someday that you think needs fixed and you pay to have it fixed and they fix it the way you like to fix things by chasing symptoms. Then when you bitch it's still broken, they're recharging you to break it again, to not fix it, recharging you not to fix it, recharging you not to fix it, and you get pissed off. Go look in the mirror, son. Go look in the mirror. You'd make a terrible technician. Absolutely awful technician. You couldn't fix your way out of a wet paper bag made from toilet paper.
Doesn't offer any management plan. Right?
Don't worry, he's giving you a management plan. He's going along with Dr. Brian Kilmartin, and he's going to lead you right down to blaming yourself again. And you can spend years trying to change yourself and get nowhere. And by the time you spend the years trying to change yourself to get nowhere and figure out that it didn't work, they already have their NWO fully in plan, put together. You'll be living in a cashless society that ain't happening because it's a conspiracy theory, even though it is happening. And he just hasn't looked at it or opened his eyes to what's going on around him. He has no idea what's going on around him because he don't pay attention to what's going on around him.
He had his sidekick there, Wayne, who he's had a fallout with. Wayne was like 20,000 kilos overweight. This is what Bill Greathouse brought to the table. Right? This is what he brought to the table.
Even Dwayne was smarter than you. Dwayne's got more brains in his little pinky than you do in your entire body.
Nothing. And it's always baffled me why Steve Hoker even gets this guy on. I don't understand why Steve Hoker gets Bill Greathouse on time after time, like he's going to be, you know. And here's Bill Greathouse. What do you think, Bill? What do you think, Bill? Well, Steve, you're out of the movement. You're out of the movement. It's a conspiracy. You know, it's the same stuff. But for some reason, Hoker looks up to this guy, like he's some sort of oracle. Yet he's never offered 1 cent of management, solution.
Like he's going to. When you're sound asleep and don't know what's going on, you can fix the problem without knowing what's going on. Matter of fact, this guy could probably go ahead and rewire your house. He don't have to know anything about electricity. He don't have to know anything about wiring to rewire your house because he's a genius. You can tell, right? He's an absolute genius. Can you tell?
To the problem. Other than it's a conspiracy.
Other than George Herbert Walker Bush, Herbert Walker Bush's son, Prescott Bush, Alan Watt, David Icke, Mark Passio. How many other people do we need? Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. Should I go on? Dummy.
So Bill then gets on and attacks every content producer who doesn't kiss his bum.
Did you hear this? I attack every content producer. No, not at all. I'm not attacking you. You attacked me. I just told you were a sleepwalker because you are. Okay? Now here you are promoting the same shit that was promoted for years and years before you even existed or come around. Now here you are telling everybody you've been following me and Steve since the 90s. We didn't even know each other in the 90s. We wasn't even online in the 90s and you was listening to us then. You see, the shit just comes right out this guy's mouth. You don't know the first thing about me. Like I told you, he's never talked to me, not even for 2 seconds in his entire life. He don't know Steve Hoka. He don't know what's going on in the world at all. He hasn't the first clue. I've said it over and over and over. And all you'd have to do is go look for yourself. And you would start seeing it. But he's too lazy for that. He can't look for himself. He's too lazy for it. He needs to fit in. He needs to fit in. So he don't want to go along with looking for real truth. No, it's better look for a lie. That's really what he's telling you. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to finish it because it's not worth it. Let's just call this guy Bozo the Clown. Okay, I think it fits him. Nah, let's not call him Bozo because I think Bozo the Clown had more intelligence than this guy. Let's just call him Clown. Okay, that would be good enough. Clown. And that's actually an insult to the clowns. So I'm sorry to all the clowns out there if I have insulted you. Okay? But this guy's a prime example of where our world's come down to. People who don't have the first damn clue of what's going on, spilling advice without knowing what they're talking about. Hasn't got the first damn clue. He hasn't used one brain cell in his damn head. I've done nothing but tell truth. I've pointed the manosphere to where the problems are coming at. In the United States, they're moving in on the manosphere right now. And it won't be long before they start pushing mental health law bills against the manosphere. And this guy's just too stupid to see it. There is no fixing stupid. Okay, there really isn't. And this guy is exactly that.